Welcome. Today we're going to be going over Windows Server 2019, where we will set up a file that will be used as a file server, and then we'll go into Windows 10. In the Windows 10 machine, we'll attempt to access the folder over the network. It's just a simple setup. I'm not considering security in this particular episode. We're just going to get this working. So I've got VMware here. A couple of things to note. We need to just make sure that our networking is fine. Our virtual networking, our virtual switches, and our virtual network interface cards. So I'm going to go to Windows Server 2019. Let's just expand that a bit. Actually, let's have a look. So I'll go to Settings, and it's bridged at the moment. So I probably would want that to be NAT for this one, but I think on most of your systems NAT might be a bit of a challenge, so we'll leave it as bridged so that we can get the lab working. But I recommend playing around with the settings so that you can have that as a NAT interface there. And as long as Windows 10 is on the same network, we should be okay. And it's not. It's on a NAT network, so let's put that on a bridged. Replicate physical network connection states. And I'll just double check here that we've got that as well. Yeah, there you go. Replicate as a physical network connection state. Okay, next thing that we're going to do. We're going to jump into the server, fire it up. So we'll power it on. We'll do the same with Windows 10. We need to go there shortly. So today, what we're doing is we're just getting Windows 2019 started, getting the ball rolling. We'll use it as a file server, and hopefully Windows 10 will be able to access it. Okay, so that's a quick start there. Windows 19 seems to be working fine. All I have to do is remember the password, which I do. Okay, so Windows 19 is loading. Now I'm going to work on Windows 10. See if that's running. Okay, looks good. Looks like it's up and running. Okay, so while Windows 10 is loading, taking a bit of time, I might add. So I'll see if I've got enough RAM in there. So right click, Windows 10. That should be okay. Sometimes they do crash, but hopefully we'll be okay there. So here's the Windows 19 machine. I'm going to do some more labs, some different labs like Active Directory, group policy, etc. So keep this Windows 19. Once you finish with this lab, don't delete it because we've got other things that we're going to cover. Windows 10 seems to be really slow. That's okay. We'll wait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the folder here, and I'll find my way to the C drive. I will right click, new folder, and I'm going to call it shares. Okay. I might put something in there, so I'll right click and just make a text document. So testing file. And then just put some zeros and ones in there, just get some substance to that file. Okay, Control S to save, close it. Okay, so we've got a file there. See Windows 10? Yeah, Windows 10 seems to be up and running now, so let's jump into that. Hopefully I remember my password for this one too. And I don't. So I'll have to figure out what that password is in a second. So it looks like the password has completely escaped me. So I'm just going to restart it. So what I'll do is I'll rebuild the virtual machine again from scratch, but we can continue on with this. We've got some work that we can complete while that runs in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and restart Windows 10. Lesson here, don't forget the passwords. Okay, so that's working in the background. I'll keep an eye on it now and then to make sure the Windows 9, the new Windows 10 that I'm installing is going smoothly. But okay, so we're back in Windows 19, and we've got a shares folder. Now we've got two things that we need to do. We need to create a network share, and we need to share it to everyone. Okay. That just makes this folder available on the network. You can make it. You can share it according to a strict or a more restrictive share, but it's not. Microsoft does not recommend that. They recommend that you share this folder to the network so that to like everyone or anyone who can log into the domain. But we do the restrictions on the file share itself or the folder share, which is NTFS permissions. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So right-click shares, go to properties, and there's two tabs that we're going to look at: sharing and security. Let's go to sharing first. Click on advanced sharing, and we're going to share this folder. We're going to add, it says limit the number of simultaneous users. That's like 16,000 something. I might just put that as a 10. Numlock is always a pain with virtual machines. I would make it 10. It depends on how many people are going to access this folder. If it's a share where everyone is saving their profiles or their share drives, probably make it more than 10. Then I go to permissions, and I will give allow to everyone. Okay, and then apply. Okay, make sure you click on apply. Okay, so apply. Okay. If you miss one of those steps, sometimes it doesn't work. So, by the way, what I forgot to do is the computer name here. That's not good. So I'm going to fix that now. Actually, we want to give our computer names. We want to give them something meaningful. So I'll fix that now. It just means I have to restart the virtual machine, which is okay. So I'm just going to close that before I go any further, because that will be an issue. So the way to change the computer name is right-click the Windows button there. Go to settings or system. I always get confused between the two. I think it's systems. Yep. And it shows you what the computer name is there. And it gives you some information about what else is on the computer. But I'm going to rename this PC. And I'm going to call it Windows or Win Active Directory Use. Active Directory uses a computer. I might put a 19 there. I'm using that because I'm going to use this virtual machine as a domain controller in later labs. You don't have to do those labs, but go to next, and we'll have to restart. Won't be long. In the meantime, I'm going to just see how my Windows 10 is going. Looking good. So far, so good. And Windows 19 will start. The other thing I should be doing is giving my Windows 19 a static IP address. Servers should always have a static IP address. We rely on them, we need them. The IP addresses shouldn't really change because their computers will look for them, and if they can't find the IP addresses, it's going to be a bit of a problem. All right, administrator. That's good, I remember my password for that one. I don't know why Windows 10 I can never remember the password. Anyway, I didn't put a password on this time. But so continuing on Windows 19, our server. I'm minimizing the server manager. We'll come here another time. Let's go back to the folder share. Go to this PC, C drive, double click, shares, right click, properties. If we go to sharing, that's it, that's much better now. We might right click that and copy that and put it in a notepad because we're going to need this later on. I'm just going to put that there. A little running command of stuff that I do here and there. It's good to put my notes. That key is Education Edition. That's what I use. If you're lucky enough to have a academic version or an education version of Windows 10, then use it. It means that you don't have to worry about I think it's like 180 days of use if it's a trial. Okay, so that's perfect. I'm happy with that. We'll go to security. This is where we're going to tighten it down a bit. All right, now what we need, because this is a standalone server at the moment, it's just a peer-to-peer network. So I've got a server, but it's not an Active Directory. It's a standalone server. So temporarily, just so that we can get this lab up and running, so that I can show you, I can demonstrate how to do a network share, not in an Active Directory, just as a standalone server. I'm going to create a user account, okay? So that when I log into Windows 10, I will be able to log into my Windows 10 machine, not into an Active Directory, not yet, we'll do that later, but access this folder using the following credentials. I'm just about to create them now. Right-click Windows, and we'll go into Computer Management. Go to Local Users and Computers. Go to double-click into Users. Right-click. I'm going to create a new user now. Call it Harry. Let's put my name there. Don't worry about any of this. We'll talk about passwords and security another time. But I will put a password in here. I'm just going to put a password 1. And create. Done. The user is created. There it is. Now that I've created the user, I have to go back into the folder, okay, edit, add, and type Harry. Check names, and there I am. Okay, there, and I'm going to give myself full control. So now that that's completed, I should be able to access that folder anywhere that it's on the same network, and it can operate in a Windows environment. So apply, don't forget that, and then OK, and then OK again. That should be good to go, although there's always run into issues. It's just one of those things, right? So go to Windows 10. Yep, Windows 10 is good. So if I go to Windows 9.10, I just want to double check something. I need to see the IP address of Windows 10. So I will type in cmd for command, and I'll type ipconfig/all. I can see that it's DHCP enabled, and I've been given an IP address. That's not good. For a server, we don't want that. So I'm going to give that static IP address of 40. Because it's a bridge, I'm using my home network. Not great. So, but at least it works. But don't forget to shut these virtual machines down once you've finished. So 1.40, no problems. Let's go and give it the IP address statically. So right-click the network, open network and internet settings, change connection properties, Ethernet, change adapter options, right-click, properties. It's a lot involved, right? And then I'll put my statically configured IP address. In fact, in Active Directory, when we're setting this up, we'll absolutely have to make sure that the static, Active Directory won't install on a IP if an IP address has been given to it by DHCP. Default gateway. That means that it'll connect to my home router and then out to the internet. DNS server, I'm not going to use my router because my router will use my ISP. I don't want my ISP to be the DNS server because attackers always chase DNS servers. they're much easier to attack. So I'll use a Google, or even better, 1.1.1.1, which is Cloudflare's DNS server. But anyway, I'm going to click OK there, and OK again. So we'll go back, configure and verify. We'll go back to command. We'll do an ipconfig /all. And there we go. That is now statically configured because DHCP enabled. No. Okay, perfect. I think we're ready to test this. I might minimize that. I might need to come back to it, but share, it should be good. I'll just double check one more time. Properties, sharing. Yep, I've shared that. Security. Yep, I've got my username to be able to connect there. All right, I think we should give it a shot. So in Windows 10, what I'll do is I'm going to try and see if I can get an IP address first. This will be an IP address given to this computer through DHCP. For now, it's okay. I'll handle that for now. /all. Okay, so yeah, well, I'm glad I tested it because that's not right. I think I forgot to change the network adapter to when I installed this fresh copy of Windows 10. I think I forgot to put it on bridge network. So I'll right-click Windows there, settings. Yeah, I put on that. I'm going to put on bridged, replicate physical network connection. Okay. And then well, you know what? This is a great opportunity. We're going to learn something now. So I need to release this IP address. In fact, it's probably done it already. I think it might have. Yes, it did. So, but in the future, what you can do is you can do ipconfig /release. So to release the IP address that's been given to you dynamically by DHCP. It's automatically provided to you. Now I'll go to renew because I need to renew a lease, or I need to get an IP address from the DHCP server. So these are two handy commands. Perfect. That is now my IP address on Windows 10. So I'm going to try and ping Windows Server. If I can ping that, then I can perform, I can access the folder, hopefully. Oops. Again, numlock is giving me grief. Ping 192.168.1.40. So that's Active Directory. That's the server, which will be Active Directory. But this is the server where I can access my file share. This is good. Now, I just want to let you know, if we want to ping the other way, okay, so this is my IP address for the Windows 10 machine. If I want to ping from Windows 19 to Windows 10, it might not work for a very good reason. Oops, I thought I had that on the clipboard, but never mind. 83, I believe. Yeah, it's not going to work because Windows 10 has a firewall that blocks pings. As a bonus, I'll show you how to turn that off. So that you can ping. It's just a way for an additional security feature. So if anyone brings in a tool called NetMap that does a ping sweep across the network, it won't reply back to pings. But attackers are really good nowadays. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but anyway, I'll type firewall here. I'll use the old-fashioned one, Windows Defender Firewall. I'll go to, I'm looking for advanced settings. Outbound maybe, and I'm looking for. I wish they had the name as ping, but they've got it as from its protocol name, which is ICMP. There it is. So this is echo request. Now there's three of them, I think, or looks like there's only two. Yeah. So there's two, private domain. Private domain. Not sure what the public one is, but I can configure these at the same time. So I'll right click. and I don't want to enable, oh, they're not enabled. Okay, so I will enable the rule. Okay, and what's that rule that we're setting up? Right click. I might have to go to these individually, actually. Yeah, I thought I could do them each one, but I right click, properties, and I'm going to, oh, it looks like it's enabled to allow the connection. That's good. That's enabled by default. Let's give that a quick test. I'm hoping it works. There we go. So so by default, this enable rule is not switched on. So it's not on. So the rule is not working. I have enabled the rule, and the rule says allow. It gets really confusing, these kind of firewall configurations. Sometimes to enable a negative, you have to make it a, so if you want to negate something, you have to enable it. It's weird, it's strange, and it gets a bit confusing and messy sometimes. That's why it's good to have good documentation. So I've enabled the echo request. I'm not logged in at a domain at the moment, but I might be soon, so I'll enable, that rule's enabled already. Okay, all right, so now that I've got that up and running, let's have a look. Let's see if we can find the share. So I'll go to Explorer, File Explorer, and now sometimes we might be lucky enough. I'm just going to go back here to copy and paste that that network share. I think we should be okay with this because I do have a DNS server. If I have a DNS server, it means that I can use the name of the server. If I can't, then I'll use the IP address of the server instead. Should still work. So I'm just going to paste that in here. Access, the right one. I think I'll just type it, I guess. Not sure. Maybe I just Win19 ADUC. Okay. Not case sensitive like Linux is. That should work. Put another backward slash. Check that out. How about that? It's working now. I'm going, but let's see if my Harry user account number the user account that I've just configured. Let's see if that works. Oops, the wrong password. There we go. Done. Excellent. So I've set the share up. I've created it just for a user for me, for Harry. I've made the connection. I've got them Windows 10 and 19 connecting to each other, and they can now communicate. And I can actually add files in there because I've got full permissions. You know what I might do is I might go and go to Paint and draw a cat. Ugly looking cat, right? There we go, its tail and its legs. Don't judge, no judging. That's a cat. Save file, save as, and I'll put PCs, and I'm going to, actually I need to go, I'm going to save in the network file that we just created. Yeah, you might get this yellow button here where it says network discovery. You can turn that on. Yeah, turn that on. Makes things a bit easier for you. And you'll be able to see the computers that you have access to. Or you can just put it up on the top there, and the fully qualified domain name, the // Windows. Okay, looks like it won't let me do that, so I'll just cancel that. Yeah, well now it will let me do it now. I'm not sure what happened there, but it's allowing me to do now. Ugly cat. Save. Exit now, and there it is. It's right there. If I go to Windows Server and go to that share, there it is. There's the ugly cat. Simple as that. It's really not that challenging. The challenging is the networking part. You get the networking part. You get the two machines pinging each other. Should work. Now, one more thing, I can also, if your DNS server is not working for some reason, I can use an IP address too. So 192.168.1.40, and that should work too. No, it doesn't actually. It's interesting. You might not have permission. Oh yeah, okay. Yep. Actually, what I might do, let's just do that quick test. Go to open the folder again, and then we'll see how that works. Yep. And // 192. Click on that one, and then yeah, we know. It's a bit frustrating. It doesn't let you continue on. I just didn't want to type. And there, and I go to shares. That's interesting. Won't let me through now. Looks like that it won't let me do it that way. It will only do it through the network share. So properties. Yeah. So the share is set up for the computer name. But if that computer name doesn't work, I don't know, this copy across virtual machines sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but yeah, it works like that. So that's really interesting. The other way, you can go to network, drop down, you can see all my printers and other stuff I have in the network, but you can go to the computer itself, it's there, and that's another way you can find it. Okay. But if this doesn't work that way, try the IP address method. But that's all I have for you today. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode, and yeah, thank you for watching.